Hey everybody, hey, I hope you're having a great day. We are out here by the fireplace right now, and I'm just looking at a few things that we did last night. I didn't catch it on camera, but what I did was I threw a layer of base coat stucco on the front of this structure. And why I did that is because I wanted an even surface all the way up from where the seating is going to be all the way to the top. And what I wanted was a flat, workable surface where I can add the tile that's going to go around the firebox and then be able to have a nice, just even surface with the base surface for that tile that I can continue on with all of my, my stucco on the rest of the structure. So here it is. We just added this layer, and we went all the way to the top with it, just on the surface of the front surface. And right here is going to be the level of the seating surface, and this piece goes in. And then what you do is, once you have this here and you have the front forms here, then you'll be able to screed off the excess concrete when you pour that in on top of the backer board. So it's a pretty neat way of doing it, and I just put that in there. I've done some measurements, and what I'm trying to do is figure out the spacing of the tiles that's going to go up, over, and down surrounding the firebox opening. And it's going to be the same tile that we have on the pool back there, which Shannon said reminded her of Portugal. So it's going to be that tile. It's really cool. I really think it's going to look nice. It's going to bring in the connection between the fireplace and the pool, because it's the same tile. It's going to make it look really neat back here, I think. So what I've done is I know that I want one tile on each corner just like that. And once I have that tile established, and then the other one on the other corner, then I can figure out the spacing, and I think it's going to be about 1/4 of an inch, because each one of these tiles is 4.75 inches. I have 55 total inches from the outside of this one to the outside of the last one, and that leaves me about 2.75 inches or so, divided by 10 spacings, because I have 11 tile, and when you do that, it's just a smidgen over 1/4 of an inch. So my spacing on these tiles is going to be 1/4 of an inch, which is a little bit bigger than what we have on the pool, but I think it'll be okay once we fill that with the grout. It's just something we have to deal with. Now that way we won't have to cut any of the tile across the top of the firebox. We just don't want that look. So 1/4 inch, that's where we're going, and I'm probably going to go ahead and lay these in here today sometime and just get these established, and then it'll completely change the whole look. So if I back up here and you look at this a little bit further from afar, it really changed the entire look of the structure. Check that out. Isn't that cool? That is flippin' cool. I love it. So we have ordered the countertop concrete mix, and it should be in maybe tomorrow or the next day. So if that happens, then maybe by this weekend we can pour that concrete slab, get that seating finished. Then the fireplace will really start to come together, and then we can go ahead and finish that. Now, I did find out that the wallpaper for the inside of the shed is back ordered, or it's actually one of those things, companies where you pick it out, you pick out the colors, and then they print it and then they send it to you. So it's not something that's readily available, because you kind of generate the overall look of the wallpaper. So Shannon picked out this really neat pattern, and she won't tell me what color it is, but she showed me the pattern, and it looks really neat. I like it. I think it's going to be really cool in there. But we have probably another week or maybe 2 weeks waiting on that print, and in time for them to send it to us. So we've got some time to do some other things back here in the backyard. In the meantime, we're going to work on the fireplace. So there we go. I'm going to go ahead and get some tile set here in a little bit, and I'll show you what that looks like. It's not very exciting, but I'll turn the camera on. See ya. All right, we are going to start mixing up some thin set. All right, I'll just put you up here. It's that much easier. I'm going to mix up this thin set in a little tiny bin, because I only have about 15 tile to put on. So let's see. Whew. All right. Not too terrible as far as weather goes today, but it is kind of sticky. A little bit humid today, which is kind of weird for Arizona, but we are going to have maybe some more storms tonight. We are kind of in our rainy season. Let's see. I don't want this too terribly wet, because then the tiles don't stick very well and they tend to want to fall. So once the tiles go on, then the only two that are going to be cut are going to be at the very bottom, right above the seating surface, but those are going to be done later, after the seating is done. And then we will, at that point, be able to stucco the rest of the structure. And I think we're going to be doing a really smooth coat stucco, so it's when we paint it, it'll be really cool and really, hopefully, as smooth as possible. And then it won't snag on your clothing, and it'll look really modern. That's kind of what we're going for. It's kind of the look we're going for. All right, let's go ahead and start laying our first ones. I'm going to start from the inside and work my way out, and that way my center tile is going to be as good as we can get it. So I've marked the center of the tile and I've marked the center of the opening, so it's going to go just like that. And then I've drawn a line across the top and a line across each side, and that should be pretty close to keeping it even so it doesn't look like it's wavy at all. I'm not even really going to use a tile tool. I'm just going to kind of just butter the back sides of these, and hopefully it'll stick this way. I should probably use a tool though, but we'll just do this. And we got a lot of coverage. And then once we stucco, the stucco will be all the way to the surface of the tile, and it'll be just a seamless look. It'll be really neat. Let's see if we can get this to stick. And it's gonna want to fall here. I can tell you that right now. And it's starting to sag already. That is the problem with vertical tile. You gotta kind of set it and then hold it here for a while until it somewhat sets up. This is where the video is truly exciting. Make sure we are flat across the top, and I will check I might want to add some more powder with this, make this a little bit drier. Just don't even hardly touch it, just look. Yeah, it looks pretty darn good to me. Whew, it wants to sag as soon as I don't touch it anymore. Alright, let's see what this looks like from back here. Here's your first one set. So then we're going to go 5 more in that direction, quarter spacing, and 5 more in this direction, quarter spacing. Alright, 11 across the top. I'm going to keep going. I think I'm going to do this on time lapse just because it'll be a little bit more impressive watching it, not for the 1 or 2 minutes that I have to hold each tile here. All right, enjoy watching. Bye. Okay, we are done with the tile around the fireplace at this time. So the only two that we have to put on there now at this point are going to be the two that I have to cut, but those aren't going to go on until the seating is poured and in. Then we'll know how much we need to cut to get those down right flush with that seating level. So I had, say 11, 15, 9, that was only 19 tile. It's done, and it looks really cool. I kind of like that. Check this out. Check this out. Check that out. So now, when you compare that, you're going to be able to look over there and go, wow, that matches the pool. The fireplace matches the pool. Very cool. Okay, so it almost looks like it was planned out, and it kind of was. So that was something that I think Shannon wanted to do from the get-go, is he's used the same tile front and back of the yard. So there we go. We are still plugging away on some other things as far as cleanup goes. We have a lot of stuff, like clutter and stuff, that we're taking one truckload at a time to a dumpster and getting rid of it just here and there. And that's kind of what we're doing to occupy our time, except for these little small projects like this one that we just finished. So I guess we're just going to wait for the countertop concrete to arrive. Then we'll figure out a good night to do this, because we can't really do it during the day when it's 100 and something degrees, where the sun's beating down. So we might have to put a tent over the top of this thing, do it at dusk, so dinner time, and then Shannon and I have to get out here and bust this out and get it done, and then have it kind of cure overnight. We'll spray it down a little bit here and there throughout the night, and hopefully it won't crack. And that's kind of what we're looking for. It's kind of what we're hoping for. And gosh, fingers crossed on that one. Hopefully it works out well. But hope you like it. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. All right, are you ready to go out? Okay, are you guys gonna go out here and bark? Well, there's the answer. Well, yeah, I'm gonna bark. I'm a dog, of course I'm gonna bark. All right. Hello again. Why do you have to bark so much? Okay, so today's been a very, very interesting day. I'll tell you about the house in a minute after I show you what we did this morning. So remember that we had that little spacing issue on our tiles that were on the top of the section that we built for the new spillway on the pool. I'm gonna turn this around, and I fixed it. So we finished the grout. It's not the prettiest on the edge yet. I do have some extra work to do, but right here we finished spacing all those penny tiles out. I do have some cleanup to do. I have some residue from this grout that I have to clean up, and I had to take a lot of these tiles off. I mean a lot. Hundreds of them had to come off, and what I had to do was I pulled them all off of that little plastic mesh backing. Individually, I put 3/4 penny tile back on that thing. I put a little bit of thin set on the back of each one and put them all down by hand. So I got the spacing correct. Then I was able to close those gaps when it shrunk up on me through the sun, because I made the fatal error of not putting my grout in after I did the tile. I should have just done it regardless of how hot it was, because it's hot today and I did it today. So it looks good, but I went ahead and finished working on all the gaps, and I said I'm putting grout in today, and I don't even know if the thin set was completely dry. I put grout in as soon as I finished tiling. So, and a couple of them were kind of loose, so they're held in now with grout. They're not going anywhere. So that's done. It's finished. It's finished. What do you think? There's a couple areas on here that I'm not completely happy with, that I might want to redo, but it looks a lot better than it did before with those horrendous gaps. So anyway, what I also did was I pulled a couple of the tiles off on the front of my fireplace. Now right here you can see actually more than a couple. I pulled 4 of them off, and possibly even this one needs to come off because it had a slight sag. I mean, it was ever so slight. It was just enough of a sag that Shannon looked at it and she went, "Do those droop in the middle just a little bit?" And I said, "Yeah, I think they do." And so I didn't even want to to leave that there. I just pulled them off, and I cleaned up the thin set. We're gonna try to put those things back on and see if we can get that line to be absolutely perfect on the bottom, because that's something you would always stare at. If you knew it was kind of there, you'd probably always stare at it every time you walked out, and we don't want that. So that's done. And then what else I did was I finished. Effectively, we are completely done with electrical between the main panel and the sub panel, because I use these little brackets that I bought, and because the schedule 80 PVC that I bought to run my 6/0 cable between panels, I ran it external right there. It's the gray line down there, so it's the schedule 80 gray line, and I ran my little brackets right there, and now it is attached to the house. Every 3 feet it is attached to the house. It's not going anywhere, so it's done. So effectively, all my electrical for this entire project is finished, with the exception of just having to run the electrical line to my mini split. So my condenser unit's going to be sitting back here, and I'm probably going to use a couple pieces of my leftover coping from the pool, and I'm going to try to build a little thing so my outdoor unit can sit on that and not have to sit in the rocks or on the dirt. So I'm going to try to keep this thing looking as nice as possible, and we'll go ahead and build something for it. So I was going to tell you what happened to my roof, and you know what, I might just go up there. Let me put you on pause. I'll be right back. Hi. All right, so I need to show you what happened on my roof. And I'm not talking about this roof, I'm talking about my house roof. Now, about a week and a half ago, we had this massive storm come through Tucson, and it decimated a lot of stuff out at the high school, and it busted car windows. The weather was so bad, there was some major microbursts that came through, and it shattered a bunch of car windows in the parking lot. The students, it shattered entire bus windows. All the bus windows on one bus were just blown out. The huge solar panels in the parking lot started to fall, and almost every tree in the school was blown over. Did a lot of damage to the football field because it's all turf, and it just messed everything up. That same storm came through because we're only about 7 miles from the school, and it came through and hit our house. Let me go up here and show you what happened. There's the section that I repaired last time, but I need to show you something. I need to show you that right there. That happened, and then it crashed down on top of my roof, and that happened. So what's going to happen now is this guy just had a roofer come over, and I was just up here with him, and insurance got involved, and we're probably going to be getting some cash from insurance, and the roofer just came over and he gave me a price, and it's not a fun price, but it's something that has to be done. We're going to get all this finished as well. We're just going to get all the roof stuff on this house and patio cover completely redone. So they're going to have to take every tile off the front of this, actually off the top of the house. They stack them all up. They completely remove all the paper. They remove all the batting, which is it's the 1x2 pine that runs side to side on your house. That's what your tiles sit on. That's what they screw to. If they need to replace wood, they'll replace some of the wood. They'll replace all the paper, all the flashing. Then they put all new tile down for the ones that are broken. And then they reuse the tile that you had on your house. So it's a little bit different than some parts of the country where have shingles. They can reuse the roofing material that's already on your house, which is kind of nice. So it's not a fun price, but it's something that has to be done. I guess I could just say, hey Dan, remember, home ownership is not free. So that's what we're doing. Not fun, but that's okay. It's just one thing after the other with home ownership. So hey, I'll just show you the backyard while we're up here. Let me turn this around. Check this out. Isn't that pretty? Look at all that color. All right, I disappeared. My dog doesn't know where I am, so he's down there whining. Let's see if I can get down here. All right, here we go. All right, we are down now. You okay? You okay, buddy? I know. Hey, I know. Scared because you didn't know where I went, huh? Anyway, so hey, thanks for watching the update. Not a lot going on, but there's just enough to where I feel like it's fun to kind of let you guys know what's happening, kind of show you what's happening, and it's little bits happening here and there, and the stuff that's getting done is all the detail work of stuff that needs to be done just to finalize the backyard. We're going to be doing some new lighting on the back of the house. We're going to be replacing all of these. We're going to replace those lights. We got 3 of those, we got 2 of these. We're keeping our starburst because we love that light. It's so much fun to have, and we're gonna keep that one. So anyway, I guess without further, have fun, enjoy the DIY world, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. Hey everybody, I am back. This time I'm inside the shed. So I am looking today to try to figure out the placement of the inner unit piece of the mini split. Now the mini split is our AC/heater unit that we're going to be putting in this thing. That way we can use this year round. We can use it in the summer, we can stay cool. We can use it in the winter and stay warm. Although the winter days in Tucson aren't really that, not really that bad. So a cold winter day here is as a high 50, 55 degrees. So it feels really nice most of the time in the winter. In the summer, it gets to be a little bit unbearable. So that's why we want to have at least an AC unit in here so we can do our workouts and stuff, because this is a gym. So we want to be able to do our workouts, or if somebody does stay here with us, we want to make sure that they have AC if they're here in the hotter months. So I need to be able to get my bracket up here. Now we went with a Senville unit here. It's a 9,000 BTU. It's capable of being able to cool, I think, up to 450 to 500 square feet. And because we're just under 180 on the square footage of this place, we are looking pretty good. This thing is not gonna have to work that hard to really cool this place down. And I think it's gonna be a really nice unit for this room. I looked up the top 10 best mini splits on the market, and Senville was in the number 10 in the top 10 on every list I looked at. So with that and the price range on this thing, it really wasn't too terrible. It was, most of them are kind of comparable on price. A couple of them are super high, and obviously those things are, several $100s more than this. With as much as we're going to use this thing and the reviews that this thing got, and they were really nice reviews, good reviews, people were super happy with these, I went ahead and said, this is the one I'll go with. It marked off my positive review check, my monetary check, and it looks good. It's the right color, because I think you can get some different colored ones too. So we wanted something that was 9,000 BTU, and this is the one we picked. So it's a pre-charged unit. I think the charge is on the section that's going to be on the outdoor, but down here we've got some copper lines and stuff, and the drain line that's going to be pulled out. And then what has to happen is, once that bracket is on there, you have to drill a hole in a specific area, and that whole unit slides through that hole. All those lines run to the outside of the unit, the outside of the shed, and then you bend those down, and then they hook up to the condenser unit and the compressor unit outside. So that's what has to happen. I just have to make sure that where I have this thing, which is perfectly centered on the wall right now, whether there's not a hat channel piece behind right here where I need to drill the hole for those lines to run through the wall. So that's what I'm doing right now. I just need to find out exactly where that hat channel stud is behind this drywall. And as soon as I figure that out, I'm going to be able to put this thing up there and get this thing installed at least. Now we do still have to paint we're still waiting on the wallpaper. Shannon picked out a really cool wallpaper, and although I know the pattern of the wallpaper, again, she won't tell me the color because she wants it to be a surprise. So that's kind of fun. So once she gets the wallpaper, she'll be able to pick out the color. Then we'll be able to buy the paint, get it on the wall, and then I'll go ahead and wallpaper over that. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the bracket up though, and then we can just take the bracket down and paint. I'm not worried about trying to put wallpaper behind the bracket. I'm just gonna run it to the bracket and be done. So I think we're looking pretty good. But I wanna cut that hole before any wallpaper goes in and be able to get this thing set and kind of ready to go. So hopefully the wallpaper will be here in a matter of just a few days, hopefully, fingers crossed. And then we can get started rocking and rolling on this wall here. So I'm gonna go ahead and put you down, do some measurements, and see if I can find out where the stud is exactly, so we can, oh my gosh, whew, so we can drill a hole and get this thing up there. So, all right, let me see what we can do. Bye. 5 inches from there. I think we're gonna be okay. Stud, centered hole. Oh, we are going to be right on the edge of that hat channel, I think. Let's see here. 2.5, 1.25. Right there. Yeah, right about there. So I think we're going to be okay. I'm going to go ahead and drill a hole right about there and see if we're really close to that hat channel. See where we are, right on the edge of where that hole would be. Yeah. Right on the edge of where that hat channel is. So if I were to drill over just a couple, just maybe 1/4 of an inch, I think I'll be okay with that. All right, so let's put this up. I can go ahead and get so I will have 4 anchor points in drywall, and then 1 anchor point I'll be able to go straight into the hat channel, the metal that runs through here, which is it's going to be at least the best part to anchor this thing right into that hat channel. But these aren't bad, these will be good. So I'm going to move over about 1/4 of an inch, so it's not going to be perfectly spaced, it's going to be off 1/4 of an inch from space. Right there. Love these wall anchors. You don't have to drill any holes. You just go right in. You kind of cut their own hole. They're amazing. I've used these for years. And they're flush and they're amazing. You can buy them anywhere that you buy anything else. Home Depot, Lowe's. They are really, really nice. And then you can buy them in these big boxes, and they come. These are easy anchor drywall anchors. Yep, and they come with screws. They hold 75 pounds, it says. So I'm not sure about the validity of that, but they do say they hold some good weight. Let's put you down here. Let me get some screws out. After I set these in the wall anchor, then I'll go ahead and install that one through the metal channel right in the middle. Yeah, this bracket's got a lot of slotting areas to it, so that's kind of nice. That way I can morph it a little bit. Alright, so now I will run my, ooh, that is perfect. Perfect. Okay. Alright. Now, I won't try to do a pull-up on here, but it's on there pretty good. I will probably still put one in the center. So let me measure this out. It says 5 inches from there. Yep, we're about a 1/4 inch out. There becomes my right there. So now I have to find a 2.5 inch hole saw for that. Then I can try to put this on the wall. I'm excited. All right, we'll see ya. Bye-bye. Okay, so I have a 2 1/8. I need a 2 1/2, but I'm gonna go ahead and use this. I'm gonna cut that hole at 2 1/8, which is 3/8 inch shy of 2 1/2, where I actually have to be. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cut that, and if I can, I'm going to go ahead and try to shave that out another 3/8 of an inch with a, maybe with a, I've got a little oscillating tool with a cool little blade on it. Maybe I could, I don't know, maybe use a little sharp knife or a little hole saw or something that I use for drywall and other places. But I think I'm gonna go ahead and just run this up there and see what I can find, and maybe be able to get a little bit more of an idea how close I am to that hat channel using a little smaller hole. So I'm gonna go ahead and drill this hole and see what happens. Let's get this thing switched out. And then I might actually try to see if I can drill that outside hole into the metal. I think I might have to find a different bit for that. This is a wood bit, this isn't gonna go through it. But if I could drill that outside, then I can get this thing on the wall and at least get an idea of how it's going to look. Oh, that is dead battery. That did not have much juice in it. All right, let's drill this. Let's see what happens. Come on up here. Let's turn this around. Right there. There we are. That was pretty quick. 5 inches from right there to the center of the hole. Okay, so then let's look in here and see what we can find here. Yep, there's my metal. Yeah, that was that was my stud. There's no way I was gonna be there, so I'm glad. I am super happy that I went ahead and that was an actual 3x3 post. I thought that post was more centered, but it was off center. We had to do that for a reason, if I remember right. So I got lucky on that placement, real lucky. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to shave that a little bit, find out how I can maybe cut through, if I maybe be able to get a bit. Maybe I could get a bit, go through it with a regular drill bit to see where it is on the other side of the wall where I'm gonna have to pop through. So if I can put a little keyhole through there, yeah, it's gonna be the best way to go, I think. All right, see what we can do. Glad you're watching. Stay tuned. Oh my gosh, it is so bright out here. All right. So yesterday you watched, I was in the shed and I was working on some of the AC. I worked on the bracket for the inside unit of the mini split, and I was able to drill the first hole. I was able to bore that out to my 2.5 inches that I needed on my diameter. Then I borrowed a hole saw from my neighbor, and I was able to come in the back side of the shed. I put a little pilot hole from the inside out so I knew where to drill from the outside, and I then cut my hole, and I have my tube running from the inside to the outside. So I don't know if you can even see that, looking into the structure. Anyway, that is where the lines are gonna run from the inside unit to the outside unit, which is right there. This is my Senville unit. This is the outside, the compressor, and the my fan. It is a miniature version of the same thing you have in your house. The big units, like maybe one of those things in my neighbor's yard, like that. So big units. That's all really that is. It's just a smaller version. It's called a mini split, and the mini just means it's a smaller version of a bigger unit. So there you go. There is my hole. So those lines right here, so this gets pulled out and it bends out, and it is actually a couple copper lines. So by bending that, this is how you have to do it. They say you just gotta bend this out like this. And once it's bent out completely, then it will go through that hole, and here's the drain line. And what I have to do is I have to connect power wires to this unit, and then all those, it's a big bundle that gets taped up, and that bundle gets pushed through that hole as the whole unit slides in and locks into the bracket that I hung. So I did this in advance of any paint, and I did this in advance of any kind of wallpaper. And I wanted to do that for a reason, because I don't want to have to play with the wallpaper and drill holes and do all this stuff, because it could potentially mess up the wallpaper. So I didn't really want to do that. So I just wanted to get it done in advance. I'm not gonna put that unit up until the paint and the wallpaper's done, because I just don't feel like having to take it all back down. And once the unit's hooked up, it's hooked up. It's not gonna come out without having to have maybe an HVAC person come out and recharge the unit. So once it's up, and I'm not gonna worry about it. So that's kind of where we are. Now, one more thing that I wanted to do. Whew, boy, that is some bright stuff right there. Okay, so we have all this travertine left over. We've got quite a bit of it left over, actually. We've got 4 or 5 pieces of coping, because I do have one of these coping pieces right here is what's holding the mini split unit behind the shed. So we have all of that available to us because we didn't use it anywhere. And then we also have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, maybe 10 or 11 square feet of the 12 by 12s left over right there. Okay, and what I'm thinking about doing is creating an entire pad for my garbage can and my recycle bin to sit on. I might make all of this travertine. That would be a good use of that material, because I really don't want to just throw it away. I mean, I paid good money for it, so I might as well use it somewhere. And I may actually do a small walkway or something that comes out from the existing out to the backside. Who knows? I don't know exactly what I want to do. I need to talk to Shannon about that first and find out what she thinks. She's kind of more the visionary than I am. I'm just kind of throwing stuff out to see whether it's something that we could tackle. And it's an easy project. We could just mortar those in place and be done. I am, however, going to make sure that she is basically aware of it, and that she is good with the size that maybe I was thinking maybe 2.5 feet by about 6 feet. It's about 15 square feet of material. We've got a lot more than that available to us, so maybe if we need to go bigger or just do the whole side of the house back there from the house to the wall, who knows. So I just want to talk to her about it before we do that. Then I need to put the tile back on the front of the fireplace. I need to clean the inside of the shed. I need to clean the window track and the door track, because we've had a lot of stuff just accumulating down here. A lot of the mud and the concrete and all the garbage that got smeared on the glass when we poured the concrete in here. It's just a lot of stuff that needs just small attention to detail. We gotta start cleaning up. We do have to finish the rake trim, which is the side trim that goes right up there. That stuff. We have to finish this trim right here, and then we have a couple pieces that we have to paint to match, unfortunately, and it is going to go up on the front side right up in here. So that needs to be done. So it's just a bunch of small things that we have to do. Oh, this is kind of neat too. Shannon has decided that she maybe wants to do a dark, like a satin black tile on a certain pattern, just a satin tile that has no pattern or anything to it right here. That will look cool. I'm really excited about which one she picks out, if that's what she's still thinking about doing. I'm looking forward to that one. That'll change everything right here in front of the shed as well. It'll make it look really neat, I think. So, and then she's trying to figure out some furniture. We've got a few different things in mind, like either a round table or a rectangle table with 4 or 6 chairs. How big do we go? How small do we go? Do we want to put additional padded chairs out here? We do have those over there that we can use. Get new cushions for that, maybe paint those frames, because the chairs themselves are still relatively nice, and it'd be a shame to spend a bunch of money on brand new chairs when these are just fine. Just find some new cushions and be done. Maybe we could do it that way. So anyway, that's kind of where we are. I do have some cleanup to do, and just a few things I need to take care of, a little rock pile in the back. But we are really getting to the point where we are, I don't know, we're kind of getting to somewhat of a completion, other than just a few little things that we need to do, and we're waiting on some other things to ship. So other than that, I think we're doing pretty well. And let us know what you think. We really like to read the comments, and we hope that you guys are enjoying what you're watching, what we're putting out, and hope you're enjoying the build. We will talk to you soon. We're going to have a lot more coming up here soon. As soon as we have more to work on, we're going to start turning this camera on a lot more. So stay tuned. Keep watching. See you later. All right, here we go again. Cue the dogs. All right. You know what? I was going through some of the old videos and watching some of the old footage that we have been filming for the past, gosh, I think it's been 10 or 11 months now since we started building this backyard. And I am truly humbled by what we've been able to accomplish. And really, you know, I come out here every day and I look at the backyard and I look and see what it looks like now, but it's hard to really put it into perspective when I try to remember what it was like before. And it's only until I go back and start looking at all the old videos that I truly remember what we have done to get to this point today and where we are today. And I look back, and we are almost the end of August of 2023 right now. And this all started back in last summer when we were really looking at, you know, redoing some of the things on the backyard. And never once did we think we were going to do a 100% rip out and redo everything. We were going to piecemeal it and maybe do the pool, or maybe just replace the fireplace, or, you know, redo the outdoor grill section of the yard. But did we really think we were going to do the entire thing? Not in the beginning. And it wasn't until about the end of last summer where we said, you know what, maybe we should just do this. we started Life is DIY, the channel, and for the purposes of being able to share this entire experience with everybody. And and thanks for watching. Get that right out front. But the whole experience started with a tear out of this backyard back in about October or November of 2022. And I look back at all the stuff that we did with the tear out, and the amount of dumpsters we had to load with all the concrete from the pool, with the tear out of the fireplace, the tear out of the grill and the grill slab of concrete, and just everything that we did just to get to a point where we had a field of dirt, where we had kind of a blank slate. We had the pool full of water, but everything else was gone. We had the palm tree back there, and that was about it. And so we had a blank slate, and it was Shannon's vision and Shannon's design that got us to where we are right now. Nothing to this point could have been done without Shannon and her design ideas, and just the way she looks at different things with colors and textures and all kinds of different elevations and things. I would have never come up with a design this cool without her. So hats off to Shannon, and tell that to everybody. She is 90% of what this is, because it would not have looked this nice without her. Picking everything out and making sure that she's made sure that things look appropriate and that they go together, and that's the biggest thing. I think if it was just me, I would have just kind of thrown some stuff together, and it wouldn't have looked as clean and as polished and put together as this has turned out. So I look at the very beginning of what we did with the drip system and painting the inside of the wall just to make everything start fresh. And we got the drip system in on the perimeter, so we wouldn't have to worry about digging later. And then we fast forward through about January, where we started having a lot of deliveries. We got the block and mortar delivery and the concrete delivery for the fireplace, and we got the travertine all delivered in that whole time frame, and that was about 1,000 square feet. We knew what we wanted. We just didn't know where the travertine was going to end up completely. We did not have this whole view of what you see now in our mind when we started laying the travertine. It was kind of a work in progress, if you will, especially around the pool. We had no idea. And if you go back to the beginning, you're going to see that we really didn't have an idea of what it was going to look like in the end until it kind of started morphing and started coming together. And then I fast forward through about February of 23, where we started doing the welding for the trellises, and it started to kind of add some more appeal to the back of the wall. With kind of set it all, kind of started bringing everything into some interest, because we actually had something that was, even though it was small, it was a project that was done, and it was something that we didn't have to work on for a ton of time, but it was a still impactful section on that back wall. And then we have the green vines growing on it. It makes it look so nice back there. You go through about March all the way through April into May, and that's where we were really working hard on the pool and the renovation, building the wall for the spillway, and doing all the tile work and the travertine coping and the travertine around the pool, just trying to figure out all that shape. And those 3 months were very, very impactful for this backyard and the way it looks now, because that kind of led us to kind of how it was going to look up closer towards the house, with the green turf going between the pool and the travertine on the front edge. And the pool kind of dictated a lot, especially when we built the raised deck. And Shannon's idea about putting that deck in was amazing, because it just added that one extra appeal. It could have just been flat all back there, and it wouldn't have looked as cool. I'm so happy she came up with that idea and that we did that. So those are those things that she had in her mind and her vision that I just would not have been able to come up with. We get into about June, all the way through July, into now August, and that's where we really finished the travertine up front by the house, all leading up to the turf. Once we had that established, we were able to put the turf in. The shed was started, and the shed has really come into being one of the huge focal points. So if I come back here, I think there's 3 focal points to the backyard. The first one is going to be the shed, and the second one is going to be the pool, and the third one is going to be the fireplace. And it's just kind of just looking left to right. It's not in that order. I think the first thing you really pay attention to when you walk outside is going to be the pool. But just those 3 things are so huge in this backyard as a focal point that you just kind of drawn all over the place trying to figure out what's your favorite part. And tell us what your favorite part of this backyard is. We would love to hear from you as well. But this whole transformation from a big dirt pit to where it is now is truly humbling. And I think about all the stuff that we've done, the digging, the countless hours of sweating, the bleeding, the injuries, the exhaustion. I look at the tons of weight, and I say tons. It has literally been tons of weight that I've carried, picked up, transferred, put in a wheelbarrow, rolled up front, rolled wheelbarrows full of concrete and block and mortar and dirt and sand, back and forth. And how many times did I lift the travertine to reposition it to a new section of the yard, or pick it up and move it to where I then put it down? How many wheelbarrows full of sand that I move around and dirt that I move around? The decomposed granite below all this travertine at the pool, the countless, mortar bags and concrete bags that we lifted just to do this whole process. There's been so many things that have gone into it, and I'm so pleased, and I'm so humbled and truly happy at what we've been able to do back here, just being non-professionals. All the different aspects of this build, from the masonry that we've done, the stonework with the travertine, the tile that we did by the pool, and now going to be followed on with the veneer and the tile on the fireplace, the woodwork that we did on the front of the shed, the electrical, both low voltage for the outdoor lighting as well as AC voltage for the shed, running it from the main panel to the sub panel and wiring the entire shed in. All the welding that went into everything, from the trellises to building the shed frame, the painting, the drywall, the plumbing. There's so many different things that we've done, and so many different aspects of DIY that we've been able to both start and conquer. I might add. It's been a lot of fun to do all this, to figure it out along the way, and to ask friends and ask some other colleagues of mine that are professionals in some of this stuff, to ask them for assistance and have them kind of guide us through this. But we've done 99% of the work back here. As you remember, the only 2 things that we paid to have done so far is we had the turf put down, just because there is a warranty associated with that, and the second one is the 5 yards of concrete for the shed, and that was just too much concrete for me to put down and build on my own. It was just worth paying for, and it's a beautiful finish down on the floor. So those are the 2 things that we had done. Everything else we've done by ourselves, with just a lot of hours dedicated, but it's been truly humbling. And I'm so happy that you've watched. If this is one of your first ones that you've watched, go back to the beginning and watch it from episode 1, because it's going to be more impactful to see the entire transformation of this backyard instead of just seeing what it is now. Go back and watch, and it's been a fun journey. I'm saying it's been a lot of fun building this, but it will be literally a year of completion in order to get to where we need to be, because we have a lot of stuff planned for the end of the year. I'm not going to spoil that right now, but we have a lot of fun things happening in our life that is all going to be in this backyard here by the end of the year. So that's one of the reasons why we're scrambling to get this done here and in 2023, because we do have a lot of plans back here soon. So thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to my monologue and my reminiscing of the backyard and how it's all come together. But I hope we've inspired you to continue with DIY in your life. DIY is a lot of fun. It's very rewarding. The adventures are amazing, and we appreciate you watching. So keep watching. There's going to be more to follow. Take care. Bye-bye. Okay, I wanted to come out and show you what it looks like in the backyard with all the lights on. And I know it's been a while. I told you I would do this a long time ago, several episodes ago, I think now at this point. But I wanted to get out here and get some light pictures or light video where it wasn't quite dark, just kind of dusk, and that's where we are right now. So let me turn this around here. The shed looks amazing. I love those. Those are 5 feet tall. Shannon picked those out. We have 2 over there. We've got the palm tree all lit up. We've got 3 along the back wall in the 70, I think it's like 70 degrees, I think is what I said before. And so they light up in a big U. And then we've got the 2 there. We got 8 on the deck, 2 on each side, even 2 on the back. And then the new addition is the lights. They're going to be underneath the hearth, the seating surface on the fireplace. So there we go. I think that is amazing. I think it's gorgeous. We love to come out here and see the lights. They stay on all night long and they go off in the morning when the sun comes up. So, you go back here. That dog wants to jump in the pool and get his toy. You better not jump in the pool. Nope, don't you dare jump in that pool. And there's the palm tree all lit up. Beautiful sunset tonight. Not much beats an Arizona sunset. I could have turned the colored lighting on in the pool too. That'll have to be the overall reveal. We will do that at the very end. We'll turn the fire on, we'll turn the lights on in the pool, have everything all cleaned up and completely done, and we'll do a complete backyard reveal. Anyway, so there you have it. Hope you like it as much as we do. Keep watching. Thanks for watching. Subscribe and like. We'll talk to you later. Until next time, bye-bye.